Oh well.
Yeah, so I see
at
your
least we
warrant.
know.
I see your warrant extension, and no judge has been approving any warrant extensions.
It's annoying.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine. So.
Okay, so we just gotta tell people in here to be quiet.
Yeah. Kylie, as a heads up, the observation rooms have no soundproofing either.
Copy.
There's a camera in here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna sit down. Parts like this always make me like kind of feel bad, you know, because I know they're just bad, you know, make bad decisions kind of thing. But
Yeah. I don't know, like old.
you what?
I'm talking to myself.
Oh yeah. Stretch. None of these chairs are comfortable.
Alright, Leon, you on?
No, he's not on 666. Hi, Maisie.
Have a seat.
Hi.
Alright. So yeah, we did just want to, talk about your employment.
Okay.
Chat, can you
know,
get
there's
the
been some concerns that you haven't really been putting in the effort. I just wanted to kind of know where you're at with that.
I had been trying, after Leanna and I talked, I had been trying to enter the queue as much as I could. There were times where I sat there for upwards of 5 hours with no response, and that's kind of,
Okay.
to be honest,
was that in shift 3 or other shifts?
Yeah, part of it was shift 3. About 4 hours of it was shift 3.
Okay. Okay,
And
because
then
I check it very regularly. Haven't seen you during shift 3, other than like last Thursday, which is when Leon took you out.
Okay. Yeah, the couple days following, I entered in.
Okay. All right. Well, sort of on that. Like, I mean, even before that, like you're very spotty. Anything like, any reason like anything that we can help you out with it?
I had sent you the email just saying that I had some issues and stuff that I was working on. I had still been fixing it. And was when Leanna and I talked, we said that we were gonna make an effort. I felt like I was trying to make an effort, and but I just don't have the like, I'm a very part-time person anyways, so that's also my difficulty, I think.
Okay.
Because at least the last 3 or 4 days, I haven't even been around for anything, so.
All right. Well, the other two people here have got some questions for you as well.
Okay, sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna turn on the recording really quick, just for posterity.
Okay. No worries.
Okay. Maisie, you know me, District Attorney Skylar Sparks. Just for the record. Veronica.
Yeah, Veronica Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So we do want to, before we ask you any questions, we do want to read you your rights, okay? You are not under arrest or anything, but I do want to just read them to you. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to attorney. And afford one will provide one to you free of charge. You also have the right to request a bench trial to contest any and all charges. Do you understand your rights?
Yeah.
And would you like a lawyer?
Sure.
See who is available.
Leonard
Uh,
Frost is the attorney that's available currently.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, but I mean, if that's the only one available,
You
is,
can.
Is Meredith around?
No, it's just Frost.
She's not clocked in. If you'd like, I could try
Mm.
calling her.
I say I have her phone number.
I'll give her a call
I-
really quick.
Okay, thank you.
The person you are trying to reach is
It got
unavailable. Please.
Sent to voicemail. So you're not being indicted or anything. We just want to ask a couple questions, and you can request
Okay.
a lawyer anytime. I can call Leonard
Sure.
and get him down here, or we can proceed with like just asking a couple questions. It's up to you.
Go ahead and ask. It's fine.
Okay.
ask the questions or ask him to be a lawyer?
You can ask questions.
Okay.
So, I was curious. Just a couple things that ended up coming up through some tangential investigations, at least on our part.
Mm-hmm.
Who is Marcy to you?
Marcy is one of my partners. I stay in the campground with her, with Talia, with Fauna, and with Gemma.
Oh, okay. You guys just live together. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then when I have my farm open and spend time there, Marcy comes and does tarot readings there.
Oh, I
we're
love
on-
that. I don't mean to interrupt
Yeah,
you. I'm
we're-
sorry. That's so nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of like you're trying to build a little community on the edge of town where people come through and stop by, get some food, get some tarot readings, and yeah. So we talk and stuff.
Oh, it makes sense. You're their partners and stuff. How successful is the tarot reading stuff? Like, do you guys get a lot of people to come through, or?
Yeah, I mean, pretty decent amount. And the nice thing is, a lot of times with food trucks, people will just come get food and leave. Versus
That's fair.
having like the tarot readings, I mean, each one probably takes a few minutes, and a lot of times people come in groups, so they're there for 15, 20, 30 minutes plus, and it's kind of nice to chill and hang out and talk and stuff. So and you get a variety of people. I mean, especially sometimes Polito is the only place to get food, which is kind of cool. So like we get some interesting people from down in the city sometimes. We've had all walks of life come through. I mean, we get deputies that stop by that get readings. Some of the Polito guys have stopped. We get all kinds of stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. And how often have you ever talked to like Marcy or any of your, other 8 partners, like about your job and the frustrations you had with your job or anything like that?
Well, Marcy is really the only one that I've talked to about like frustrations, I think. And that was just some stuff from recently.
Are you willing to talk about those frustrations just so that we understand where you're coming from?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously the Fauna situation where Fauna was busted for weed.
I didn't. I saw I check people's profiles. I don't go into reports or anything like that. So I did see where she had a charge for that, but I don't know the situation. Can you enlighten me?
All I know is what the report said. Like, I didn't know that she was like selling. I didn't know she was growing, anything like that. So all I know is Marcy said that she heard that Fauna was in trouble and that she kept checking the incident reports in the MDW to see if anything was popping up for Fauna. Because I guess Fauna is from what Marcy heard, is that Fauna was in jail. And I'm like,
gotcha.
well, why would she be in jail? was our questioning.
That's
and
fair.
It was frustrating. I think Marcy went to bed. Marcy usually goes to bed before I do. I'm
right.
When
okay.
I'm around, I'm around weird hours, obviously.
Same. No, I understand.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. You are way worse than me on
Excuse
that.
me, ma'am. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
What do
I'm
you
sorry.
mean?
You.
Kylie, don't
know,
you do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be
That's
bullied in this.
true.
That's not even fair. Okay, whatever.
Listen, I got bullied earlier by you. No, I'm kidding.
For the 3 socks, the 3 layers of socks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Let's not bring that up here because I don't want Leon to make fun of me for it. Okay. So back on track.
It's called social engineering, chat.
Marcy went to bed. I was still at the farm. I think I saw the report pop up, and I believe I texted Marcy that I was frustrated about it and said that it had popped up in the MDW.
Yeah, specifically you said most recent report in the text messages between you and her.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I knew that she had access to it because she was the one telling me she was looking at incidents to see like what was going on. So
Gotcha.
I just kind of was like, hey, it's up if you want to read it type of thing. Honestly, I don't think we talked about it after that other than we were just confused and frustrated.
What was the most frustrating part of that?
Well, I mean, when you're in a partnership, I guess I expect more transparency between partners and what they're doing. Especially someone who is a government employee, I guess. Like, I don't know. I try to hold an ethical standard for myself that I guess maybe other people don't, and I don't know, like, it just hurt. Like, when I first started dating Fauna, like, all we did was spend time at the food truck. So we were just fishing and making food and, like, chatting with people and farming and just doing cute stuff. And then other influences seem to have changed what Fauna decided to do? Question mark? I don't know.
What kind of influences would that be?
I mean, I think she just hangs out with a different crowd of people, or they hang out with a different crowd of people than they did when I first met them. And they're still with Gemma, and they're still with, gosh, I don't remember their other partners' names. But
it's pretty dense. The polycule goes pretty deep, so
there's a web.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of people.
So for us, when it comes down to everything, integrity is exceptionally big part of like passing through your cadet phase, and so that's kind of why we wanted to ask about that. What do you know specifically? What influences are kind of affecting that? Because I'm assuming you read that report. I'm assuming you went through everything on that report.
On the Fauna with drugs report?
Yeah, Fauna with drugs report.
I mean, I read it and saw the other people involved, but there was no talk to other people. I didn't tell Fauna anything about it. I mean, Fauna knows that I knew they were in jail because they told me that. The only person I even said anything to was Marcy, and it was, hey, that incident report is there if you want to read it, basically, or however I exactly said it in the text, which I think was what most recent incident or whatever. Other than that, it was not a conversation with anyone else.
And you saw the picture, I'm assuming, in that report of Marcy also involved with that?
I did. Well, actually, okay, so I didn't see it when I initially told them. And all I said was most recent incident. Wait, is that one the same incident report?
It is.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, and so how many times did you go back into that report?
I don't recall.
Gotcha.
I mean, I read it that first day, And then it may have been a tab that was just on because I'm a notorious not closing tab person.
Mm-hmm. I understand.
So
I do the same thing.
it may have still been there. I mean, I'll only close them if it feels like it's starting to bog the system down. Especially for like while I was on shift, like I try to keep the ones that I'm going to add stuff to, because I like to get a cup of tea and fill it out before I officially go to bed. So, because some of them I feel like I need to add additional stuff to.
Gotcha. So that being said, different influences. What is Charlotte Cohen to you?
Friend. We were in like distance, and that's about it.
What do you mean? What do you mean by
that? Like we've flirted on Twinsta. We've met in person one time. We were like friendly, flirty rivals at Ramathon one time. But other than that, not anything else.
Gotcha. So just like casually flirting, just, you know, friends.
Yeah, I flirt with half of this city, probably. So, but yeah, yeah, it's just very friends, very flirty. Nothing else. Like I don't, I said, I don't talk about my job and what I'm supposed to a lot of people.
Right. Yeah, and I'm assuming you're aware of Charlotte Cohen's criminal, you know, connections and things like that.
I know her record. I mean, hell, I think I processed a warrant for her on one of my first trainee days. So yeah, I mean, I've seen her record. I don't know like her affiliation to other people or her club or whatever you want to call it affiliation.
Sure, right.
Yeah, but I mean, I know she has a lengthy record, yes.
Gotcha. What about Sky Forklift? Who's Sky Forklift to you?
An ex.
Gotcha. Okay. Can I ask about that? Like, what happened with the breakup, or how familiar are you with her?
That was actually my first girlfriend in the city. We spent a good amount of time together. They felt that I broke some boundaries with them pretty quickly, and was not wanting to get involved with someone who wanted to be a government employee. I don't think I was officially a government employee at the time, but they knew the route I was taking.
I'm sorry, that's genuinely rough, because it's like I really like this person and they're just trying to not talk to me because of my career and profession.
Yeah, I think a lot of it was also their friends were like, don't do this with this person type of thing. So, which is unfortunate because like I don't get to choose who I have feelings for.
Oh, that's pretty fair. So I'll get right to it. On July 24th, you and her had a conversation concerning Fauna, Gemma, and an MC. What is this MC that you're talking about?
The name or like what?
Yeah, what's the name? Like what's swooping them up that's getting them that distracted? That's kind of really pissing you off.
All I know very little about this group because obviously people put up walls with government employees, even in partnerships. Like Gemma has even said that to me. That I think it is called Osiris. They call themselves a motor club, and that they want to protect people that they feel the police can't protect. I don't understand what that means, but that's pretty much all they've told me. And obviously, by seeing people wearing the same denim vest, kind of like, you can kind of put 2 and 2 together there, like on who's in the group and who's not and stuff like that.
Right. So that would
But,
be
I
like
mean,
Fauna joining them and stuff like that.
Fauna, yeah. Fauna's other partner. I am really bad with names.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Would that be Ophelia?
Yeah. Oh, Faye. That's what they call themselves.
Oh, Faye.
Yeah.
Okay, that's their nick,
Yeah.
but their legal name is Ophelia.
Sure. I don't actually know.
Gotcha. They're staying in the campsite with you, right? I think.
I have spoken to them once, and it was not a
Gotcha.
pleasant conversation, so I don't actually know.
That's fair. It's like, well, my partner's partner is
yeah, and they're
fairly rough. So
even though it's a polyamorous relationship, it's very strange because they are very even though they're not around a lot, they say that they are Fauna's priority. Like they
Sure, right,
they rank like Fauna. They want Fauna to make sure they are number 1 regardless, which I don't know. I don't think that way.
No, it sounds like she's more into hierarchical polyamory rather than just like kitchen table polyamory or solo polyamory or whatever. That can be really frustrating. I've been part of a group like that before. I don't really do that. I'm much more of the everyone should know each other kind of thing. And if you don't, it's whatever, personal styles and whatever. So, gotcha.
But yeah, one or 2 conversations, if that. And I think it's another. People have warned them of me and what my positions are, and are like, oh, then never mind.
Yeah, I can kind of see that if they're like doing criminal stuff. Have they ever tried to like get information out of you or anything along those lines?
Nope.
Gotcha.
I have one question going back to the night you and Marcy had been talking about, or she was saying she wanted to see if there was an incident report. That conversation you guys were having, was that in person or on the phone or through text? How was that being communicated beforehand?
So they came. So I was at my farm, and they came by and were sitting down for a little bit. They seemed really sad, so I was asking them, what was troubling. They told me about Fauna, them finding out Fauna was in jail. I'm not sure how they found out. I don't remember. I have a really bad memory, to be honest.
It's okay. Just do your best. That's the big thing. Being honest and forward and do your best. That's all we ask.
And they said that they had heard Fauna was in jail and they were trying to find out why, and they were concerned. And that was the first I had heard of it. So it was all in person. And then, like I said, they usually go to bed quite a few hours before me. So I wished them a good night. And I saw it popped up in the incidents, the most recent incidents. And I asked if they were awake. I think, honestly, I don't remember. But I said most recent incident. I know that much. So. And I don't know if we really talked about it after that. Like, at least in person, we didn't really say much. Like, we had already talked about our frustrations before that.
You never talked after she was out of jail, or like next day, you guys never talked to her about what happened, or?
Who, to Fauna?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, Fauna knew that we already knew because we could read the report. And we're just, I don't know. Like I said, since Fauna had joined the MC, I don't see them very often. It's maybe like today, like when I came over to the food truck where you were at, Sky. That was the first time I had seen Fauna in, I would say, over a week, which for me, for Fauna and I, is very rare. We used to see each other every single day.
Gotcha.
So, like, once the club formed, it was more of a very rare thing.
How long has that been? When was like the last time you really like went out on a date with her before she joined the club? You don't need an exact date. I'm just curious if you know if it's been like a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Week or two after the fruit festival.
So
it's been like almost a month, probably.
Okay, gotcha. That is a long time. I'm genuinely sorry, Maisie. I haven't seen Skylar in like a week and a half, and I know how that feels. So I can only imagine.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, when I don't have partners with thee, I get very depressed. So.
No, I get that. So.
And I know it's a coping mechanism and it's not a good one, but unfortunately that's my life because before this was my sister who I was like attached at the hip, and she died about 3 years ago in my arms. And
I'm so sorry.
this is how I cope.
I understand. I mean, I don't understand, but I empathize. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Just a couple more questions on our end. Thank you, by the way, for being so, like, forward with some of this information. So I know some of it's not really easy, you know. So.
Yeah. No, I get it. Like, this is, I mean, part of my job, I guess, is to be honest. So, yeah.
So
regardless if I'm an officer or not, I'm still an honest person and will always be an honest person.
So that being said, that the night after the whole incident with Fauna, you were kind of out and about doing your own thing, yeah? This was about 5 days ago. Or 4 days ago, I guess. You received a couple calls from Gemma. What's the relationship between you and Gemma?
Well, Gemma and I are also... Gemma is one of my partners.
Gotcha. Okay. And when Gemma called you, you know, around, like... Let me get the exact time. When Gemma called you around, like, 11:15, 11:13 CDT that night, was she trying to get any specific information around? Because you guys had a minute conversation and then a 10-minute conversation afterwards.
CDT.
Yeah, so it was like midnight on the 26th.
I'm trying to think. What is is that
CST?
Central?
Yeah, it's Central.
Oh, CST.
Yeah, it was around
2
like
hours
11.
back for me. Okay.
So yeah, it was like if your phone's still set to like Pacific Standard Time for some reason, it would be like 9 o'clock ish.
Okay.
Yeah, she called you 9 o'clock that
night. I do remember she called. I picked up, and then we were gonna she was asking how I was doing, and then she was like, "Oh, I got another call. I'll call you right back." I do remember that. So that was the first call. And then the second call was she asked about me being on duty because I guess Fauna had seen that I was on duty the night before with Leon. We were at Hayes, and she saw me there, and we were talking a little bit. But then Gemma was like, "I had heard that you were on duty. How was that?" And then she talked about how we hadn't spent a lot of time together because before that we had done like several days where we were towing together and just kind of spending time together. And I mean, she talked about how once again another partnership where walls would maybe have to start to go up because different styles of life, and basically if I was to continue the path I was going to continue on, that it was just going to be campground and that was it.
What does she mean by that, or what do you mean by that? Just so I'm clear.
Well, I mean, in my eyes, that would just mean that we would just see each other at nighttime and go to bed together. Like, not spend time together outside of just sleeping in the campground together.
So no dates, no going out, no just chatting, grabbing lunch, nothing?
Yeah.
How many times has she threatened this for you?
That was the first time.
Okay.
They did mention that they think they might have a warrant. I brushed the conversation off by saying I don't have my NBW and I can't check that stuff anyways.
So, I mean, you mentioned that they never have asked you for information, but then she just asked you for information. So how many other times has Gemma asked you for information like that?
Well, I thought you meant for Fauna earlier. I'm sorry. That was the only time.
So you've never shared any reports or any warrant information or anything like that?
Nope.
So if I were to tell you that we have text conversations about you sharing other reports with Gemma, you would say no, you don't think that's a thing that we have?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Give us just a couple minutes. We're gonna go talk outside and we'll be right back in, okay? Do you need food, water, anything?
Nope.
Let me turn
Can
this
I
off.
use my phone or no?
I would prefer you didn't.
Okay.
Veronica, you wanna go talk outside?